Hey everybody, how you doing? Uncle Dan here. I'm sitting outside chilling on this chilly Saturday afternoon, the day before Easter, day after Good Friday. Boy, this year's like no other, isn't it? We find ourselves in a point of social isolation and not being able to spend time with much of our family because of this thing that's going on in the world. And so I was sitting in the house. Well, first I went to my daughter's this morning with my granddaughter, and I spent a little bit of time with my grandsons. And best thing ever. I mean, Conway Rec Department, thumbs up. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but the Conway, New Hampshire Parks and Recreation Department got together and they decided that they weren't going to let this Easter go by without having something for the kids. So what they did was they got an Easter bunny and they loaded them up in the back of a truck and they drove around to where they would find kids and they threw out Easter eggs and candy for the kids, and it was just really great, and there was music playing and the bunny was dancing. Cold as heck and it was snowing, but you know what? It was absolutely worth it. And I was thinking about, what does it mean to be socially isolated from each other on a holiday like this? Especially a holiday that's primarily turned out to be a holiday for kids, really, when you think about all the commercialism of it. I know what today, tomorrow, and yesterday is all about, but, not many kids do. For them, it's about the Easter bunny, candy, toys, whatnot. It's up to us to teach them, right? So I was thinking about, how could I talk to, for example, my 10-year-old granddaughter about what Easter is? More importantly, Good Friday and Easter Sunday, about the resurrection. That led me to thinking about what does it mean to be resurrected, right? Obviously, we're not Jesus, right? So we're not going to be resurrected in the same light that he was. But I always try to think about how these things I read in the Bible manifest into my life today, because they all do. And I was thinking about this notion of resurrection, death, resurrection, ascension. And, my life as I knew it a long time ago was not sustainable, not by any stretch of the imagination. I were not doing things in my life that could be considered life promoting, right? I were doing a lot of things in my life that, quite honestly, sometimes I'm baffled that I lived through. And had I continued, I don't think I would have lived through it. I certainly needed to have that life die so that I could start anew. I was fortunate, not everybody is, but I was fortunate in that 1994, I was provided with a motive that was greater than my motive to not change. And I utilized that as a springboard to kind of find a new life, right? So essentially what I did was I put to death the old Danny, right? And I was resurrected anew. Now, I think about that on the macro level, right? And that's what I'm talking about right now, is a macro level, looking over my lifespan. But I can even bring that down to a micro level. I recognize things in myself every day that I need to change, right? That I need to kill off so that I can be a better person, right? It's more life-sustaining, more life-promoting. I was having a conversation with somebody this morning around this thing that we find ourselves in. And I had mentioned in a video the other day about social isolation and cohabitation. And I was talking with somebody this morning, and it's like, I am with people that I absolutely love and adore, and that I would do anything for. But that doesn't mean I don't get frustrated. That doesn't mean I don't get irritated with things. And that doesn't mean that I don't react. But what happens is, hopefully, I don't know if you can see my eyes, hopefully, when I find myself reacting to things, I'm able to catch it, change it and put it to rest and develop a new behavior, right? Now, by no means am I equating my daily life to the, crucifixion, resurrection, and ascension of Jesus Christ. But what I'm saying is that I can see how that's applicable in my life today. How I have to put things to death in order to be resurrected from who I was and ascend into who I can be. Just simple thoughts I have, right? So I was thinking about that today, and as I'm sitting here, right, I had so many plans for today. I was going to do a bunch of stuff because it was supposed to be in the 40s, 50s, I think. I had so much planned for today, but instead it's cold, and I look out the window, and every few minutes it's snowing, and even sitting here now, I'm beginning to shiver because I've been out here a few minutes too long. So I'm sitting in the house, and I'm sitting in the presence of people that I love, trying to figure out what I can do next. Something wrong with that. So I think for now, my plan was to come out and put this video together, which I did. I was actually going to share some scripture, which I will. And then I'm going to go back in the house and sit in the presence of my family. So I want to talk a little bit about the resurrection, right? So the Bible I have, it's really interesting. The one I'm using right now is called the Ragamuffin Bible. I have not seen the movie. I didn't even know there was a movie. Somebody mentioned the movie. I have it. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I just thought it was a cool Bible when I bought it. But I have not yet watched the movie. But from what I understand, it's a very poignant movie. And eventually I will watch it. So I'm reading out of the Ragamuffin Bible, and I'm reading in Mark. I really kind of like Mark because Mark is more of a matter-of-fact kind of person here. And he just kind of lays it out the way it is without much pomp and circumstance around it. So he says, when the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint Jesus' body. Now think about that, right? The cat died the day before. And it's been probably close to 12 hours since he died. And they want to go and anoint his body. That really says something about what they felt about him. Very early on the first day of the week, just after sunrise, they were on their way to the tomb. And they asked each other, who's going to roll away the stone from the entrance of the tomb? And I was thinking about that one sentence. I was thinking about when I read it. It said, who will roll away the stone from the entrance of the tomb? And I was thinking, man, how many stones do I have in my life that need to be rolled away so that I can see Jesus, right? So that I can see God, so that I can have clarity and understanding. And they are innumerable. I can think of so many, things that get in the way. But then it goes on, it says, but when they looked up, they saw the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled away. Wow. And that's what God does for me. Even though I can see these things that I need to remove, even though I can see these things that, what did I call it, innumerable or insurmountable, God takes care of it if I let him, right? As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. Don't be alarmed, he said. You're looking for Jesus the Nazarene, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. He has risen. Can you imagine? Those dark places, God is there. The stones that need to be rolled away, he will move. I just need to have faith and understanding that it can happen, that he can do it, that he will do it. And I need to just step aside and let him. So listen, I don't know where you are today. I don't know who you are that's watching this video. I don't know what your faith is. I don't know what your belief systems are. I'm not requiring anybody to do anything. I'm just putting these videos up just for my own. Just for my own. That's really it. If somebody gets something out of this, awesome, awesome. I know I got something out of doing this. And that's kind of where it's at for me. It's just another connection, another opportunity to kind of bring something to some folks that may not have otherwise ways. No. to bring stuff to folks that may not have another way of getting it. So hey, peace. Have a wonderful weekend. Celebrate Easter with those that are close to you. We have technology, utilize it. Don't be afraid to video conference people and just see how they're doing, right? Call people on the phone. It's just, we have so many opportunities. Somebody had asked, what if we didn't have technology right now? Well, if we didn't have technology right now, we wouldn't have all these opportunities that we're not taking advantage of, that we are, that we're taking for granted, right? So utilize the opportunities you have for connection and connect with the people you love, connect with the people that you care about, even if it's just, hey, how you doing today, right? I don't know. Anyways, peace.